सो वेलकम टू स्काउट्स ऑफ साइंस यूट्यूब चैनल। आज एक वीडियो में आप लिविंग वर्ड लेसन डिस्कस करेंगे बेटा। सो फर्स्ट ईयर बायोलॉजी एनसीईआरटी में पहले से लेसन लिविंग वर्ड था। ये नीट में थोड़ा सा वेटेज नहीं रहने वाला चैप्टर था, बट एक्सपेक्टेड है। सो वी कैन नॉट प्रेडिक्ट मे एंड मे नॉट बी, इस कारण से आप डिस्कस करना ही पड़ेगा। ओके, सो आज की लेसन था लिविंग वर्ड लेसन डिस्कस करेंगे। सो जो कुछ है लिविंग वर्ड लेसन में आप डिस्कस करेंगे, सब चीज जो इंपॉर्टेंट था आपको साइंटिस्ट के बारे में भी दिखाएंगे, में वो भी पढ़ेंगे। सो द साइंटिस्ट व्हिच वाज गिविंग इन दिस लेसन दैट इज एनएस टू मेयर था। क्या था? एनएस टू मेयर साइंटिस्ट के बारे में दिया। सो 3 points are very important regarding this scientist. What are the 3 points? Let me discuss. Okay, so the first point is, so he is called as Darwin of the 20th century. Darwin of the 20th century. Very important point है. So why he is called as Darwin of the 20th century means actually जो कुछ एर्नेस्ट मेयर है, he is a evolutionary biologist. कौन था ये? Evolutionary biologist था. Evolutionary biologist. Due to he was a evolutionary biologist, he was studied on the concept of evolution and biology. So how the Darwin was studying the 19th century about the topic of evolution, likewise the Ernest Mayr also studied about the concept of evolution. इस कारण से इन्हें डार्विन ऑफ द 20th century कहा जाता है। Darwin was worked in 19th century while the Ernest Mayr worked on the 20th century. So both their works are almost similar on the concept of evolution. Likewise, he is called as the Darwin of the 20th century. समझ में आया? So the second point is very important point था बेटा, very important point. That is, he also pioneered the currently accepted definition of biological species. So very important था बेटा. So that is expectation of NEET 2026. NEET 2026 में पूछा जाता है ये क्वेश्चन में पूछा जाता है, very important, स्टार मार्क है. So what is the meaning of this statement? Here pioneered, which means research. So Ernest Mayr was researched on the biological species के definition पर रिसर्च किया. ओके, डायरेक्ट सवाल नीट में पूछा जाता है. Who was pioneered the currently accepted definition of the biological species? The answer था Ernest Mayr. Ernest Mayr is a scientist who was pioneered, which means researched on the currently accepted definition of the biological species. बहुत important था. Okay, now come to the third statement. So third statement, that is, no scientist has the triple crown prize in the biology that Ernest Mayr has. Ernest Mayr has a prize in biology that is called triple crown prize. क्या प्राइज था? Triple crown prize in biology. So what is meant by triple crown prize means, here in biology there are 3 highest prizes. The 3 highest prizes commonly called as triple crown prize in biology, that was won by the scientist Ernest Mayr. Okay, what are the prizes? Let me tell you. The first one is called as Balzan prize, that he won in the year of 1983. In the year of 1983, Balzan prize was won by the scientist Ernest Mayr. The second is international prize for biology, that he won in the year of 1994. In 1994, he won the prize of international biology में इनको प्राइज आया. कौन सा ईयर में? 1994. And the third prize is the Crawford prize, that he won in the year of 1999. So this Balzan prize, International Prize for Biology and Crawford Prize, these combined, these 3 prizes are called as Triple Crown Prize in Biology. These three prizes are called as Triple Crown Prize in Biology that was won by the scientist Ernest Mayr. Ernest Mayr. These 3 points are very important regarding the scientist Ernest Mayr, which is in the NCERT. No neglect about the scientist. Everything we wanted to study. Why? Because जो कुछ NEET 2025 में पूछा गया उनके बेस कर ये सब बता रहा है. ओके, बिफोर NEET 2025 कौन सा टीचर और कौन भी नहीं बता सकते ये सब, बट NEET 2025 से पैटर्न चेंज हो गया, ट्रेंड चेंज हो गया, इस कारण से ये सब बता रहा है. Okay, Ernest Mayr is evolutionary biologist. He is called as Darwin of the 20th century. Okay, he also pioneered, which means researched the currently accepted definition of the biological species, and he has Triple Crown Prize in Biology, which calls Balzan Prize, and International Prize for Biology, and the last one is Crawford Prize. This is about the scientist Ernest Mayr. Let me go to the lesson. लेसन में जो कुछ क्या है उनके बारे में डिस्कस करते हैं. Okay. So you are watching this video, which means you are at your home, right, or in your school, whatever it may be. So if you see your around self, if you see the surroundings, you can find different type of organisms. We are also one type of organisms. You can find plants and some organisms which are not able to see our by naked eyes. Those are called microorganisms like bacteria, protozoans, monerians. All these are existed, right? And that existence on this earth is called as diversity. क्या कहते हैं हमने? Diversity कहते हैं. That we discuss now. So diversity in living world. Diversity in living world. Okay, what is mean by diversity here? The statement was given in the NCERT. बहुत important था. जो कुछ definition NCERT में दिया उन्हें पढ़ना चाहिए था बेटा. Okay, so diversity करता था number of organism on the earth. earth पर कितना organisms है उन्हें सब ने मिलकर आप क्या कहते हैं? Diversity कहा जाता है. That is was mentioned in NCERT. That is number of organisms on the earth is called diversity. Diversity. So जो कुछ organisms सब है on the earth, on the planet, उन्हें सब मिलकर क्या कहते हैं? Diversity कहा जाता है. वो जो कुछ माइक्रो ऑर्गेनिज्म भी रहते हो और मैक्रो ऑर्गेनिज्म भी रहते हो, जो कुछ यूनिसेलुलर ऑर्गेनिज्म रहते हो, मल्टीसेलुलर ऑर्गेनिज्म, may they are prokaryotic or eukaryotic, right? Yeah. And one more thing, that is, so number of known organisms also very important. One number is mentioned in NCERT, that is very important. So that is 1.7 to 1.8 million. 1.7 to 1.8 million, very important number है. 1.7 to 1.8 million. So these are the number of organisms known. This number denotes the number of organisms known till now on the earth. So this is the major introduction about the lesson. Now let me go to the actual lesson. Actual lesson में क्या है उनके बारे में डिस्कस करते हैं. Okay, I understand diversity means number of organisms on the earth, and how much organisms are known till now means 1.7 to 1.8 million organisms are known, right? Okay. Now, okay, short line was given to NCERT about area and species relationship. Okay, that we can discuss for very broad. Why? Because what we discussed, that it also comes in the ecology lesson. There also we can discuss, but we discuss here and there too also. There we can discuss even more broad, right? Okay, so that is here one statement is given in your NCERT. Very important statement tha. That is when you explore new areas or even the old ones, you are your old ones, the new organisms being identified. Okay, what is the meaning of this statement? So this statement denotes that, so when you explore, if you take it is a area. So if you explore this area, so the number of organisms that get identified also increases. So it is a new area. For example, it's an old area and you are moving to new area. So if you see the new area, then in the new area you can find number of different organisms. And if you go to the back area, which means old ones that you already explored, for example, it is an old area, right? Okay, old area. In old area you found 9 organisms, 9 different types of organisms. And now you shifted to the new area to explore. And in this new area you found 10 organisms, 10 different organisms. Now when you come back to the old area, whatever the 9 organisms you have found, it will go to the level organisms or may fall. It may increases but then not decreases. So आप तो न्यू एरिया ने और ओल्ड एरिया ने तुम एक्सप्लोर करते जाते तो नंबर ऑफ ऑर्गेनिज्म बीइंग आइडेंटिफाइड विल इंक्रीजेस, will get being identified, right? So this relationship was explained by a scientist called Alexander von Humboldt. Who is the scientist? Alexander von Humboldt that we discussed now. So what is that and what he explained, and we can discuss one type of a graph here, then you can be able to understand how the species will varies with the area. Okay? So देखो ध्यान से सुनो बेटा तो तुमको समझ में आएंगे. So what we discuss here, we can discuss this in the ecology of the second year also, but for your just recap I am explaining this. Okay, for small clarity, if I explain this now to you, you have a good clarity about the concept. Okay, so listen, if I think A as the area, let me apply some maths here. We can discuss some maths in the biology, very simple maths. Okay, so A is the area and S is a species. मान लो बेटा जो कुछ ये है उन्हें एरिया कहा जाता है, एस इज अ स्पीसीज. मैं क्या कर रहा हूं, हमारे पास एरिया ए है, हमारे पास एरिया कितना है, ए है. आई हैव द एरिया ए. नाउ व्हाट आई एम डूइंग मींस जो कुछ एरिया ए है, जो कुछ एरिया ए में कितना स्पीसीज है, एस स्पीसीज इज प्रेजेंट. In the area A, I can find how much species? S number of species. कितना species है? S number of species is present. Now I'm increasing area A into A plus 2. What I'm doing here? जो कुछ area A है, इन्हें A plus 2 कर दिया. तो species क्या बन जाएंगे? What about the species? The species content also increases. S plus 2. Area increase हुआ. Species also increases. It's a universal truth that we have already discussed. Right? Now. When I increase the area A plus 2 into A plus 4, क्या कर दिया मैं? A plus 2 into A plus 4 कर दिया. Now species क्या बन जाएंगे? A भी S plus 4 बन जाएंगे. ये भी 4 times increase बनेगा. Now what I'm doing means जो कुछ एरिया A plus 4 है इन्हें A plus 6 कर रहा हूँ. क्या कर रहा हूँ? A plus 6 कर रहा हूँ and A plus 8 कर रहा हूँ. जो कुछ एरिया A plus 4 है इन्हें A plus 6 कर रहा हूँ, A plus 8 कर रहा हूँ. तो स्पीसीज क्या बन जाएंगे? बताओ बेटा, स्पीसीज क्या बन जाएंगे? ये तो S plus 6 बन जाएंगी, S plus 8 बन जाएंगी. राइट? रॉन्ग है. That is wrong. So जो कुछ species S plus 4 है, that also remains S plus 4. It remains S plus 4. What is the reason? That we discuss now. Listen here. So initially how area A, when I increase it plus 2 times, then species also increase to plus 2 times. Right? When I increase the area A plus 2 into A plus 4 plus 2 times, then species also increase to plus 2 times. Right? When I increase the A plus 4 area into A plus 6 plus 2 times, here species में कोई change आया? नहीं. इधर increase कर दिया plus 2 times. There is no increase here. What is the reason behind this? The reason is when you increase the area, the number of species also increases, but up to limit, then saturated. Very important statement था. So when you increase the area, the number of species also increases. But up to limit, then they get saturated. What happens? Then they get saturated. You can find here. So when I increase the area, so simultaneously the species also increase, right? Species also increase. Then when I increase the area A plus 4 to A plus 6, then the species content is not increased. Why? Because they reached the limit. reach the limit. When we reach the limit, automatically saturation limit will occur. Saturation point will be occurs. Okay, that was explained by a graph named you can see like this. So if you have like this graph, I am taking it as x-axis and y-axis. On x-axis I am taking the area A, okay, area A. On the y-axis I am taking the species, right, species S, like this. So first of all, you can get the graph like this. This is a straight line graph. It will increases linearly. The second graph that I get, that is like this. This is the second graph. This is the second graph and this is the first graph. So the first graph what denotes means, actually the first graph is the logarithmic scale graph. Logarithmic scale graph. Okay, it is a imaginary thing. It is imaginary. Okay, it is imaginary graph, and how it look like, it is straight line, right? The shape also very important. It's a straight line graph. Kya graph tha? Straight line graph. So the first graph what is given here, the first graph is rectangular hyperbola. The shape of the first graph is rectangular hyperbola, right? The second graph shape is rectangular hyperbola. Actually, in the relationship रहेंगे बेटा. So the first relationship is S is equals to CA square power Z. The relationship is S is equals to CA square A power Z. Okay, we can discuss it about in detail in ecology, but just understand, right? S is equals to C A power Z. So when I apply the log here, logarithm apply करते हैं तो क्या बन जाएंगे? So log S is equals, here you know logarithm you have studied in 10th class, right? In 10th class maths, though log C plus and you have to go C and A in the multiple section, and automatically when we apply the logarithm they comes into addition section. So addition, and जो कुछ power है it comes to friend, then Z log A, right? Z log A. Here S denotes the species, C denotes the intercept, Z denotes the slope, and A denotes the area. This is the logarithmic. So the value is log S is equals log C plus Z log A. Z log A. Right? Have understood? Now listen carefully what we have discussed here, then you can applicable here. Okay? See, so when I increase the area, मैं area increase कर रहा हूँ, तो automatically species also increasing, right? This linearly they both are increasing, simultaneously they both are increasing. देखो इधर area increase कर रहा हूँ, species also increasing. देखो ऐसे increase हो रहा है. Later when I increasing the area, मैं area increase कर रहा हूँ, x axis में area increase कर रहा हूँ, तो species increase हो रहा है बेटा? नहीं हो रहा है. They get saturated. This is called saturation limit. इन्हें क्या कहेंगे? Saturation limit कहेंगे. Here there is no increase in the species content. Here the increase in the area. Area increase हो रहा है, but species increase हो रहा है? नहीं. If there is an increase in, now we discuss about the next topic, our nomenclature. Okay. So let me talk first necessity of nomenclature. Necessity of nomenclature. What is the necessity of nomenclature? Okay. So if you talk about necessity of nomenclature, let I take an example. If I take example as mango, what are you taking? Mango. So if you take mango, if you see the mango under different countries' name, for example, if I talk about Telangana, in Telangana state, mango has a one name. In Telangana, mango has a one name, right? If I talk about Maharashtra, and if I talk about Delhi, if I talk in London, and if I talk in China and Russia, let me take this enough. Just these are my casual examples, right? So if I go with Telangana, in Telangana, mango has a different name, right? In Maharashtra, it is another name, and in Delhi, London, China, Russia, they are very sound. So according to the location, according to the place, the name of the single fruit, that is mango, get variation, right? इस कारण से क्या हो जाते हैं? Confusion आ जाते हैं. Due to this, what happens? The confusion will be occurs. Confusion will be arises, right? So to avoid such confusions, a confusion ने avoid करने चाहिए. Due to this, a standardized naming is given. That standardized name, what is given? Standardized name is given. Standardized name is given. that name is called as biological name. क्या name कहते हैं उन्हें? Biological name, or also called as scientific name. क्या कहते हैं उन्हें? Scientific name कहते हैं. So जो कुछ standardized name देंगे आप एक organism, mango is also one type of a organism, right? So जो कुछ organism के लिए आप standardized name देंगे, that is called as biological name or scientific name, right? And that process is called as nomenclature. Nomenclature is nothing but naming of the organism, naming of the organism, that is called nomenclature, right? Okay, now we discuss about how many types of nomenclature is there and who proposed it, what are the rules are there, and how we want to write a name to a given organism. Chalo. Now let me talk about nomenclature. How many types? So if you focus, nomenclature is usually of two types. What is nomenclature? Means naming of the organism. So here nomenclature, if you talk nomenclature, it is of two types. One is called binomial nomenclature and one is called trinomial nomenclature, right? So if you see within the name only there is a good impression. If you see by means two components. कितना components है? Two components. By means two components. Tri means three components. कितना components? Three components. So what are these two components and what are these three components? If you focus, here the two components are the genus and the species. Genus and the species. Here the two components are the genus, species. These both are common, and the extra one is the subspecies. क्या वो? Subspecies है. This is genus, species, subspecies. Here you can focus genus, species. If you name only genus and species, that is comes under the binomial nomenclature, and if you focus genus, species and subspecies, that is comes under trinomial nomenclature. Very important thing here it is binomial nomenclature. Who proposed it? Means it was proposed by a scientist named Carolus Linnaeus. Carolus Linnaeus, right? Okay. Here one more thing I would like to want to say you, very important one. So whatever the nomenclature is given here, these nomenclature was given by certain organizations, right? Certain organizations. There are two types of organizations. One is called ICBN and one is called ICZN. ICBN and ICZN are two types of organizations. These organizations will be named organisms. So ICBN stands for International Code for Botanical Nomenclature. Okay. Coming about to ICZN, it stands for International Code of Zoological Nomenclature. Have understood? What is the difference here? There is a fur and off. In the ICBN you can find the fur, right? In the ICZN you can find the off. This is very major reason. If you talk about difference also, one of the major reason. In the exam they will give what is ICBN stands for. They will give instead of fur off. You want to remember that is in case of B there is a fur, in case of Z there is a off. And within the name only botanical, which refers to plants, right? For plants. And जो कुछ zoological है, it refers to animals. इस कारण से मैं ऐसे भी बताता हूँ. जो कुछ ICBN है, they will name to the plants. जो कुछ ICZN है, they will name to the animals. समझ में आया? This is a major difference. Okay? I hope you understood. Now I will talk about examples here. For example, in case of binomial nomenclature, we can name only two organisms, two components. One is called genus and species. So genus ने name करते तो उन्हें क्या कहते हैं? Generic name कहा जाता है. Generic name. And this is called specific epithet. So here you can focus example. In case of genus and species, if I take example here in binomial nomenclature, I am taking mango. So mango scientific name is Mangifera indica. If I take human, human scientific name is Homo sapiens. Homo sapiens. Okay. Now this is comes under binomial nomenclature. Why? Because here Mangifera refers to genus. Mangifera refers to genus, and Homo also refers to genus. While Indica and species refers to Indica and sapiens refers to species. The two components are there, genus and species. Is कारण से it is comes under the example of binomial nomenclature. If you talk example of trinomial nomenclature, then just small modification for this, we just write the subspecies name. So जो कुछ Mangifera Indica दिया, उनके subspecies add कर दो, वो trinomial nomenclature बन जाते हैं. So Mangifera Indica, Mangifera indica. That is called trinomial nomenclature. Most of the trinomial nomenclatures has the same species and subspecies. Species and subspecies दोनों name same रहता है. Coming up to Homo sapiens, that is Homo sapiens. This is the trinomial nomenclature. समझ में? This is the major difference between binomial nomenclature and trinomial nomenclature. आपको NCERT में एक ही दिया, मैं ये भी extra बनाया. Why? Because if there is a possibility of asking in an examination. And one more thing, that is tautonymy. What is meant by tautonymy? That's also very important. Okay, tautonymy. If you refer to tautonymy, here you can see in case of Mangifera indica, Mangifera genus is a, in case of mango, the genus is a Mangifera. Well, species is a indica. दोनों अलग अलग है. Mangifera is अलग and indica is दोनों different. If Mangifera indica, which means genus and species दोनों same है, that is comes under tautonymy. In case of tautonymy, both the generic name and specific epithet are same. If the generic name and specific epithet both are same, that comes under tautonymy. If I talk example, so many examples are there. Let me write few examples. The first one is raptors. The second one is axis. The third one is cutla. So raptors is nothing but rat, and axis which means spotted deer. Spotted deer is called as axis, and cutla is nothing but is one type of a fish which comes under the class of osteochites, which is a bony fishes. This is about the binomial nomenclature and trinomial nomenclature and their examples and tautonymy. It is also very important. And now let me go with the what are the rules are required to give a organism a certain name. What are the rules are followed and how they are applicable. Okay, let me discuss. These are the rules which we wanted to follow when we give a name to a particular organism. Let me focus one by one rules. Okay, these all are in your NCERT. Once you refer that, the first one is biological name. Biological name generally are written in italics. Generally are Latin and written in italics. जो कुछ biological name है, they are Latin, and when they are written, they are in italics, and they are Latinized, derived from Latin, irrespective of origin. Okay, actually, जो कुछ biological name scientists डालते हैं, it is derived from Latin language, right? Which language? Latin language. And when you write it, you must and should not write in the italics. Why we write in italics means italics is one of the subcontinent of the Latin language. इस कारण से Latin origin दिखाने के लिए we write in case of italics. This is the first rule. Now comes to, this is a very important. ये rule एक important है and fourth rule is important. Later these are not much important. So come to the second one. The first word in biological name represents the genus. In the binomial nomenclature only we have talked that the first stands for genus, while the second stands for species. That was given. The first word in the biological name is genus, while the second component denotes a specific epithet. क्या दिखाते हो? Specific epithet में दिखाते हैं. Now come to the third point. So both the words when handwritten are separately underlined to and or printed in italics to indicate the Latin origin. So when we write them, they must and should be separately underlined, and when we print them, we want to print in italics. Why you want to print in italics means actually italics language है that is subsequent to the Latin language. इस कारण से Latin origin दिखाने के लिए we can write it in italics. Okay, that is the third rule. And come to fourth rule, the first very important था, the first word denoting the genus that starts with a capital letter बेटा. वो जो कुछ जीनस भी लिखते हैं वो कैपिटल लेटर से लिखना पड़ेगा, कैपिटल लेटर से शुरू करना पड़ेगा. एंड व्हाइल द स्पेसिफिक एपिथेट, जो स्पेसिफिक एपिथेट है स्टार्ट्स विद स्मॉल लेटर. स्पेसिफिक एपिथेट कौन सा स्टार्ट होना पड़ेगा? स्मॉल लेटर तो स्टार्ट होना पड़ेगा. इफ यू टॉक एग्जांपल बात करूं मैं, मैंगो. मैंगो का साइंटिफिक नेम क्या था? मैंजीफेरा इंडिका था, राइट? Mangifera indica is the scientific name of the mango. If you focus here, जो कुछ Mangifera है, this represents the genus, right? जो कुछ indica है, this represents the species, right? So here, in case of genus, if you see, जो कुछ यम लिखा, it is a capital letter है. In case of species, if you see I, it is a small one. So we are following the rule, Mangifera indica, Mangifera indica. So what I am doing means I am adding something extra. That is Lenin. What is that? Is Lenin. What is in the Lenin बेटा? Lenin का अर्थ था he is a scientist. ये क्या? Scientist का नाम था. Scientist का नाम which represents the Carolus Linnaeus. What is the scientist name? Carolus Linnaeus. Carolus Linnaeus scientist ने Lenin represent करते. Lenin represent करते. So it is the abbreviated form of Lenin. Abbreviated form of the scientist Carolus Linnaeus. Carolus Linnaeus का abbreviated form था. These are the rules. Okay, Mangifera indica जो कुछ लिखते हैं उन्हें Latin language में लिखना पड़ेगा और italics में print करना पड़ेगा to represent the Latin origin. And जो कुछ biological name रहते बेटा उनमें पहले से component क्या रहते हैं? Genus रहेंगे. Next component is the species. समझ में आया? And जो कुछ Mangifera indica में पहले से letter का. So genus always starts with the capital letter, while species always starts with the small letter. And here Lenin also we can write to represent that the scientist who discovered it. So Lenin represents the scientist who discovered it. So it must and should be written in abbreviated form. Like Linnaeus, we can write Lenin. Carolus Linnaeus in the short form we can write Lenin. This is a complete name of the complete biological name or scientific name of the mango plant. That is Mangifera indica Lenin. समझ में आया? These are the rules. And okay, I hope you have understood that. So in the next class we will discuss about what are taxonomic categories, what is taxonomy, how many steps are there. In the taxonomic categories we have discussed three things. One is identification, characterization, nomenclature and classification are there. We have discussed about identification, characterization and nomenclature, and we discussed about classification also, how we can classify the organism, what are the taxonomic categories are present, what is in the systematics. Everything we can discuss in the next class. Until, subscribe the channel and do to share this video. Thank you.